We're having our summer in November. And I'm going to turn this right over to Anna for our official welcome.
Oh, I am so glad to be here. And I welcome all of you, each and every one of you. I've had a chance to say hello to everybody, except Rose just briefly, and Jim just arrived. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
So welcome. You are all so very welcome here. And I'm also welcoming myself, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I've had a commitment on Not Church Sundays for the last few months. And I've had to watch the recording. And the recording's wonderful. And so I guess we should say hi and welcome to all the people who are watching the recording, because we have a bunch of people who watch the recording too. So hi. And I guess I wanted to say this morning a little bit about how much this means to me. And I'm actually getting a little teary about this, you know. I mean, I'm so grateful to be in a community of people who are so willing to talk to each other, to be in a conversation about how life can be a little easier, a little happier, and how we can be together in ways that are supportive and uplifting. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that we do that here. And I'm so grateful to have all of you here. And we have a great morning. We have a guest, John Hruby. You'll hear from him later. And Yella found some poems for us. And I think now Nadine is going to lead us in a meditation.
Yes, I am. All right. So our theme this morning is You Are One of a Kind, Thank God. And we all, each and every one of us, are one of a kind. And in the spirit of the coming holiday, it's one more thing for which we can certainly all be grateful. But while each of us are unique, at our core, we're also all the same. We're made of the same stuff, we're all connected, and we all want to be happy. But we don't always feel that way because we're not always in touch with the essence that connects us to everyone and everything. Particularly in the holiday season, we can find ourselves feeling challenged, separate, or lonely. We can get lost in past hurts, replay old stories, or project our fears and disappointments onto the future. The key to a happy holiday season, or any time really, is focusing on our sameness, connecting with the ground of our being, and staying present in any given moment. In meditation, we can unlock the key to happiness and the truth of our sameness. We can learn to expand the gap between stimulus and response. We can help avert future regrets. We can decide if we want to be right or if we want to be connected. In silence, we have an opportunity to drop the old baggage and dump the old stories that cause unhappiness and distress for ourselves and others. We don't push them away. We don't deny them. We just kind of let them float on by. We learn to let go and gracefully allow everything to be as it is. So I invite you now to join me in a few moments of quiet. Please get comfortable in your chairs with your hands resting in your lap. And if you like, I suggest closing your eyes. Take a deep breath. Pull the energy up from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Hold it for a second and exhale. letting go of whatever's coming up. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, hold, and let go. Now allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and find a spot where you feel it most strongly. Allow your attention to ride on the calming waves of your breathing. When you notice you've been thinking, gently, without judgment, return your attention to your breath. That's all you have to do for the next few minutes. Just be still and know you're breathing in and out. I'll sound a bell when it's time to stop. May all beings be happy. May we all have a happy, healthy, peaceful holiday season. And now I turn the program over to Yella.
Good morning, everybody. I've got a couple of poems for you this morning. This first one by Jewel Matheson called "We Have Come to Be Danced." We have come to be danced, not the pretty dance, not the pretty pick me dance, but the claw our way back into the belly of the sacred, sensual animal dance. The unhinged, unplugged cat is out of its box dance. The holding the precious moment in the palms of your hands and feet dance. We have come to be danced, not the jiffy booby shake your booty for him dance, but the wring the sadness from our skin dance, the blow the chip off our shoulder dance, the slap the apology from our posture dance. We have come to be danced, not the monkey see, monkey do dance, 1, 2, dance like you, 1, 2, 3, dance like me dance, but the grave robber, tomb stalker, tearing scabs and scars open dance, the rub the rhythm raw against our soul dance. We have come to be danced, not the nice, invisible, self-conscious shuffle, but the matted hair flying voodoo mama, shaman shaking ancient bones dance. The strip us from our casing, return our wings, sharpen our claws and tongues dance. the shed dead cells and slip into the skin of love dance. We have come to be danced, not to hold our breath and wallow in the shallow end of the floor dance, but the meeting of the Trinity, the body, breath, and beat dance, the shout hallelujah from the top of our thighs dance, the mother may I, yes you may, take 10 giant leaps dance, the ollie ollie oxen free, free, free dance, the everyone can come to our heaven dance. We have come to be danced where the kingdoms collide in the cathedral of flesh, to burn back into the night, to unravel, to play, to fly, to pray, to root in skin sanctuary. We have come to be danced. We have come. This next one, prompted by our talk title about being one of a kind, I thought, what is the one thing that we all have that's unique is our past. We all have a past. So here's a wonderful poem called The Past. The past. It is a large and unintelligent dog, slobbering, lunging into furniture, disturbing the environment, getting lost periodically so that you must drive for 12 hours to reclaim it. It's wearing your tags, and someone always tracks you down. We found your dog. And just when the present has begun to seem like home, just when it's bearable, the past, its fur feet tracking sludge, shakes its enormous head, straining the leash, frothing, and it is always, always hungry, staring in the morning from the foot of your bed, its huge eyes starving, begging its portion of your bread. It's the kind of dog that never rolls over, will not fetch. It's a barker, a nipper, a crotch sniffer. It is no consolation to you that everyone has such a creature. You keep it penned up, tied, muzzled, bribed, anything to keep it from your lap. Sometimes you even pay to board it out. Try finding someone who will take it. And then you must go back for it with the cash. How it whines and cries for you. Somehow you have earned its total devotion. Somehow it's yours. How hard you must work to believe you deserve it. And now, here's Johnny.
Hey everyone, welcome. And thank you for welcoming me. My name is John Hruby, and what's really fun is I see that Not Church is celebrating 10 years, and that is fantastic. I want to acknowledge that. And what's really fun is I'm actually celebrating 30 years of not going to church. So I think that may be why Anna might have asked me, because she's like, he has so much experience of not going to church. He might have something useful to say today, right? So glad to be here. And since we're at Not Church and I'm doing the presentation, I guess then that would make me not a minister, and just a guy talking, and you're just people participating. And then the question is, are we really just that? And I think we're going to get into that. My intention is, well, let's introduce myself, right? Because Anna said, hey, people introduce themselves here. Can you do that? And I'm like, I love talking about me. I have no problem. I can, most people just turn away when I start talking about me. So it's nice that you guys want to hear something. I have teenagers. They're like, yeah, Dad, we know who you are. It's all good. So let me start with a story to sort of introduce myself a bit. there was a time we were having dinner, kids were younger, and we were talking about this idea of you can only love someone with as much love as you have for yourself, right? My kids didn't get that. They're like, well, why does this person just be nice? Or why didn't they do this or this? And I'm like, well, you can only give what you have, right? And they're like, and I said, so then I saw where they were sitting on this side of the table and the salt was over here. And they were younger, so I knew they couldn't quite reach it. So I said, okay, hand me the salt. And so they see that it's over there. So one of them gets up to go around the table. I'm like, no, you got to stay seated in your seat. Can you hand me the salt? So then of course it becomes a game, and they're got their butt on the seat and they're trying to reach over and grab it. And of course, one of them gets smart enough and grabs the tablecloth, starts pulling it towards them. I'm like, creative, smart, love that. But before they got it, I reached over and grabbed the salt. And they're like, hey, we can't. So I said, can you hand me the salt? And they're like, well, you have the salt. I said, well, why can't you give me the salt? And they said, well, we can't give it to you because we don't have it. And I said, that's right. And so then I handed them the salt. I said, I can give it to you because I have it. And that's one of the laws of the universe, is we can only give something that we have. And so the intention of this little talk, my intention for this little talk, is that we all connect a little bit more with our loving, with our creativity and our uniqueness, and we get a glimpse and an idea and inspired to even share that more by the time we get to the end. So let's see if that happens. All right, so let's go to the board. So the board is here. And this is me, you, and everybody, right? So you can see that? Excellent. All right, so there's energy, right? Excuse me, there's energy, love, our heart, our soul, our deep humanity, if you want to stay, definitely in the spiritual realm. Some might say our divinity. And you can say that as it's coming down or it's coming out from inside of us. It's kind of hard to draw two-dimensionally. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. So this divinity, soul, energy, loving comes into us, and then we take action. We create things in our life. Sometimes it's actual creativity. Sometimes it's a garden, a job, a business, but we create with it, right? So this energy comes in and then goes out. Okay. So you, me, and everyone, right? We're all a little bit different, right? We're our own unique person. So the word human comes from hu in Sanskrit means God, right? So God person, if you want to play with that idea, right? A lot of people, and this is where we're going to go with a little crazy talk right now, but you're not church, so I think you can handle it. A lot of people always say, well, okay, we're both, right? Human and something more than human. Like, what's more important, right? So people are always focusing on, oh, we got to get in touch with that a bigger part of ourselves. We got to be there. And that's fantastic. That's awesome. But this part that's coming down or within us and shining through each individual person, that's the same. Right? So if I was going to be 100% without ego, my personality, and Anna was going to, and Yella was going to, and we would all write a book, right? So Anna's book, you'd open it up, and on the first page, you just say love, right? You flip up next page, just say love. Next page, love. And that can be a powerful experience, right? You could read it and you get deeper and deeper. It could be really powerful, right? But Yella's book, you open up the book, it says love. You open up second page, love. My book would be the same. You would not need to buy my book if you had Anna's book already, right? Because it's all the same, right? So that's what's so amazing, is that this part of us, the part that's coming down, that's divinity, the soul, our deep, deep heart, our humanity, with the big H, if you will, that's all the same. And we wouldn't, or let me put it this way. So if we have a favorite musician, right? And you have someone that you listen to a lot. Could be Bruce Springsteen, could be Bach, could be Ariana Grande, could be Harry Belafonte, it doesn't matter who, right? Frank Sinatra, across the board. But think of that one person or that group, 21 Pilots, something that you listen to over and over again. Now, what if they were the only group? Or every musician that came out, they sounded just like them, right? Or every book was a Stephen King book, or every book was a Brené Brown book. Both two fantastic authors, love them both. but I wouldn't want every book to be a Stephen King book. I wouldn't want every book to be a Brene Brown book, right? And so this week, for example, I had the opportunity to watch Ted Lasso, right? Sitcom, fun, heartwarming, optimistic, inspiring, and national treasure, many people are calling it. And then I also watched Train to Busan, which is a South Korean action horror film, right? Totally different, so different. And what a celebration of humanity, right? What a celebration of, like, I wouldn't want only one of them to exist. So, and when we go out to eat food, right? We have different types of food we like. Even the best, you can think of your best favorite meal ever. You would not want to go to every restaurant and have that be the only meal, right? So the opportunity is divinity, soul, creativity. There's only one of you. There's only one of me. And the opportunity then is to really let that shine, right? Because what if Bruce Springsteen or Billy Joel or whoever you're thinking of only sang in the shower and didn't have the courage to share, right? I would never gone to the Billy Joel concerts I went to. I would have never, I mean, like literally, I mean, obviously it's all digital now, but if it was an album, I would have worn out my Bruce Springsteen albums years ago, right? So the shift here that we have an opportunity to really embrace is the light, the heart, the soul, the divinity, your creativity really coming through you is 100% unique. And the opportunity is to really own that and see there's an opportunity to share in a really, really special way. Now, some people say, okay, what is my part? You know, how do I do that? So when I wrote Space Spiders on Prom Day, I wrote an action adventure romance novel called Space Spiders on Prom Day. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's crazy. It's my love for science fiction, action adventure, and actually there's a whole bunch of spiritual stuff in there, right? So when I first wrote it, it was bad. I mean, it was like really bad, right? I would share a chapter. In the first chapter, I introduced like 20 characters in the first chapter, and people would read it and like, I can't track all these people, right? But that was one part. So there was the whole learning of how to write things. The other part that I hadn't really embraced was me being me, right? So I wrote this part and I was like, oh, I don't know if this part is too much. I don't know if this is too much. I don't know. Is there too much spiritual? Is there too much action adventure? Is there too much rudeness? Is it too crazy? And fortunately, the readers that I had would be like, oh no, we like that. We've never read that before. Oh no, this is good. So what I did was I learned and I took the risk every time to really be me. So that is really what the opportunity that we all do, right? In whatever conversations we have, with whatever actions, whatever business we create, however we interact, we have, I call it like a meter. And it's sort of like a safe meter. So this is the meter, it's a gauge, right? And it can go like this, all the way over here, all the way here, right? So this is 100% me, right? 100% me can be a little scary because if I show 100% me and you don't like it, then you really don't like me, right? So what we do often in art, in conversations, in whatever we're doing, we find the safe zone that we call it, right? So I'm going to be this much me, right? Because I'm thinking this much me is sort of resonates with this much you, and everyone sort of accepts this much. So I'm just going to do this. But what happens is we kind of become blah because we're all the same. We're all doing that okay, acceptable parameter type thing, right? And we don't want Bruce Springsteen to be like Billy Joel. We don't want Oprah to be like Wayne Dwyer or Eckhart Tolle. We want them to be them and really, and sure, sometimes we don't resonate, right? I mean, there's punk bands that I never listened to. And Stephen King books, obviously, honestly, I've only read like half of a Stephen King book because I really don't like really scary stuff. Stephen King doesn't care. He's okay. that he doesn't have me as a follower, right? And all of his, and if he dumbed it down or tried to do it different, he'd probably lose all his people, right? Because he wasn't being him. So the opportunity that we have is to be a little bit courageous and to find our true cheerleaders and people that recognize who we are. So then we get the feedback that says, yes, keep going. You're on the right track. I like you. It doesn't matter what your parents said or the religious organization you grew up in or the cultural norms of who you are, right? That's what we're all growing out of. That's what keeps us in the blah zone, right? The safety zone. And the true friends and the heart friends are like, I like that deep wisdom. I like that wackiness. I like that creative side. I never would have thought of cooking pasta with this or whatever, and the creativity in the kitchen or the garden or the business. And so then that is, the saying for this talk really is, there's only one of you, thank God. It's actually supposed to be said like the way my Uncle Joe would say it. And my Uncle Joe was a very sarcastic man. He didn't have a very much love, and he showed his love by being not brutal. Brutal is not the right word. Just like give a hard time, right? So like, thank God there's only one of you. But the reason why that's so powerful and so true is because we don't want to be redundant, right? We don't want everyone. Like there's you guys may have heard the Akashic records, right? Some of you, supposedly, I don't have access to it, so I don't know for sure, but supposedly Akashic records, I used to call it like a library where you walk in and all these books are there. Now it's sort of like a cloud, right? So everything that has happened and that is happening supposedly is recorded there, and you can check it out if you have access to the Akashic records. So my imagining is the way that God, this is the conversation that God had about the first identical twins. Okay, so he, because I don't know, when you guys see identical twins, you probably think the same thing I do, which is boring, right? Like, you know, that is so redundant, right? It's just like, oh my God, this thing. So the first identical twins, right? This angel comes up to God, and the angel goes, hey, you know, it's great, you're doing great work, but you're not done yet. And like, what do you mean? Well, there's this woman that's pregnant on Earth, and I love what you did with the kid, recessive genes from the grandfather, so he's going to have red hair, and I love the fact that how he's going to have the bent nose like the great uncle. So I love that, all that creativity. You're doing great, God. But there's actually two kids. God's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, twins. There's the two of them. And God's like, you know what? I'm putting this whole planet online in the Alpha Centauri system today. I'm really busy. Just make the second one look like the first one. And the angel's like, we can't do that. That's like the opposite of being creative. And God's like, no, don't worry about it. Because since it's not like ever been done before, then that's actually creative in a different type of way. And the angel's like, wow, that's really pretty good. You know what I mean? And he said, people will see two people that look the same and they'll be like, oh my gosh, and God said, then they'll have an opportunity, to reach deeper, to find the difference. And the angel's like, oh, okay, I can sell it like that, right? So the opportunity with being different, hold on, let me refer to my notes because I'm totally excited and I love this. So the opportunity of being a unique person and having the courage to tap into that and let that out, then can make a lasting difference on the world, right? Like if you look at Bach, you don't want Bach to sound like everybody else, right? You don't want Monet to paint like everybody else. That would just be really boring, right? You want them to do their thing, right? And so we have the opportunity to do our thing. So now to take this one step further, Oprah and Neil Donald Walsh were having a conversation, and I watched it. So this is not made up. I'm just going to clarify that the thing with God and the angel might have been made up, right? So I don't know if I really have access to that level. So they were talking, and I guess Neil Donald Walsh, I love him. He wrote Conversations with God. I don't know if you've ever heard the audio version of it. It's got Ed Asner and Ellen Bernstein alternating between playing God parts. I listened to it, I don't know, early 20s or something. It was profound for me, like really deep and profound, male, female. And so I think he's awesome, Neil Donald Walsh. And Oprah, obviously, is Oprah way cool, doing fantastic work all over the planet, literally, right? But in this conversation, they were wrong. They were like totally wrong. And here we go, because we're not church. We're not talking about being a follower. We're talking about checking things out for ourselves, checking inside. Does that work for me? I love them. They're right 97% of the time, but is it all the time, right? So check this out for yourself. You can decide. So Neil Donald Walsh is saying ego, he defines it as edging God out. Okay, edging God out. And he goes on and, edging God out, and Oprah's agreeing with him. But in the same conversation, Oprah's talking about just finishing this tour through Canada with, I don't know, 15, 20,000 people thing. And all I can think of is who walked out on stage to connect with those people? It was her ego. And not egotistical. I mean, there's a difference between ego. Ego is your personality. It's John James Hruby. It's what I think, what I feel, how I interact. That's my ego, right? So there's a difference between egotistical, I'm the best and everything, you have to do what I say. And then there's a difference of just being who I am and being the human part of me. And then so here she is, she just went on this huge tour, being Oprah, connecting with people. And now they're talking about edging God out. And my experience is spiritual people often go with the humanity part is not the great part, is not the good part. It has to be reined in. And that's why I love the dance poem. That was fantastic. It was like, I encourage us all, myself included, to approach my creativity in that way. Like, let's really go for it, right? And be all those parts. So instead of edging God out, I came up with my own little acronym. What do you call it when you do the letters by the first word? Acronym, something like that. Yeah. So it's every good opportunity. So every good opportunity is the ego. It can be defined and looked at that way. So what does that mean? So by all means, I love when Nadine started and about connecting that one part that is connected to all of us. If you ever may have read Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, or Good Earth. When I read The Power of Now, literally, I could only read 1 or 2 sentences sometimes a day. Like I would read 1 or 2 sentences and I was just like, I was like in an altered state of presence. And I've never had that experience ever with the book before or after. And I could literally read 1 or 2 sentences. I'd put it down and I'd have to go to the next day. I don't know how he did that because he was using the same words everyone else uses. It's still mind-boggling. Theoretically, that's where he was at when he wrote it. And I could feel that. And that's one of the beauty of everyone watching this recording and looking at a Monet painting that was done a long time ago, right? And reading a book that was written a long time ago. There's like this time travel opportunity of now. Right. So when the artist created it, when the person spoke that podcast, they did it in the now. We're recording this right now. And when somebody watches it, they're in the now and it's all linked together. It's really pretty powerful and amazing, right? So when we get back to, we're talking about Eckhart Tolle and being in the now, I actually saw him speak once. And he gets up on stage and he goes, you know what? We really don't need to say words. We can just be in the presence. And I'm like, that's an awesome way of getting a speaking gig and not speaking. I'm like, that's smart. But then we did it. We just sat for like 10 minutes and I felt something. I mean, it was like he really, so then of course he spoke and he talked and connected with people. So there is that powerful presence. I'm all for it. I'm not saying don't do that. That's fantastic. And so I'm doing that, do the Eckhart Tolle thing, get connected with that deep presence, that connection, and then open the door for someone, right? If someone's walking up to the door and they got a bunch of packages, or there's a pregnant woman with the baby carriage and can't get through the door, God's not going to come down and open that door. That's every good opportunity is the ego, is the opportunity. So to be involved and make the world a better place. And if we can do that from heart. And speaking of creativity, I mentioned briefly Harry Belafonte. Some of you may remember, right? He was actually the first singer to ever make an album that sold a million albums in the 1950s with Calypso. And he's a Jamaican Caribbean born and best known, or some would say best known for the song Deo, right? Deo, daylight come and I wanna come home, right? But some people don't know what happened was during the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King Jr. would have a march, people would get arrested, they would protest it. Harry Belafonte would put on a concert, then take all that money and use it to bail everyone out. He was a big activist. So God did not get all those people out of the jail, right? God did not give women the right to vote. God is not going to take us to the next level. It's really going to be us, right? So there's an opportunity to, yes, connect with that spiritual heart connection part. And then how do I want to create? How do I want to participate? And not from a place of I have to, and I'm scattered and it's my responsibility. It's more like it's an opportunity that I get to play along, that I get to help, fellow people along. So while I work with many people one-on-one with creativity, writing books, songs, starting a business, doing an online course, usually sometimes things I've been thinking about for a decade or 2 decades. One woman I'm working with now for 40 years, she's been thinking about writing this book and she's doing it now. And the beauty of doing that is she is more alive, right? Most of us think, I should do this, I have to do this. But when I wrote Space Spiders on Prom Day, I actually became a better husband, I became a better father, and I became better at my day job when I had one. And that's because I was finally tuning in and tapping in to that creativity. And what happens is when we tap into, when we create, so this is me, you, and everybody. When we create, and it's either coming out of my heart or it's coming this, and then it's coming through me out into the world, into my creativity, I get to experience it more. That's where people miss it so much, right? So when I hand the salt to my kid, I actually have to first hold the salt and then I can pass it to him. When I share my creativity, I have to embody it, experience it, whatever word you might want to use, and then I give it out. And as I experience the creativity, as it flows through me, then that opens up my heart even more. Then that connects me. Like, I don't think I was like a bad husband or a bad father, right? But when I started writing on a regular basis, I even started walking the dog more, right? We went from 1 walk a day to 2 walks a day, just because I was like, oh, you need to get outside and I have so much love and energy, right? It's like literally just came out. It wasn't like I should walk the dog more and put it on a checklist. And this is my, I declare I'm going to, and this is my intention. It was like literally shifted me. So I always encourage people, whatever that is, cooking, gardening, playing the guitar, 15, 20 minutes a day, whatever that, drawing, do that. And a lot of people are like, how do I become happier, right? How do I, we even talked about holidays, sometimes a little doldrum, right? It's literally being creative and then sharing that creativity then raises the spirit so much. And on that note, the last part that I want to say, and this is really fun and this is cool. And if this is the only thing you take away from all of this, this is it. So there is only one of you, right? And thank God, because we don't need 2 of you, right? We don't need 2 of me, really. We don't. Like, do we really need 2 John Rubys? One is good. One's fine. That's great, right? Even all the famous people, Elvis, right? We don't need 2 Elvises. I mean, except for Elvis impersonators, which are fun in their own unique way, right? But seriously, we don't need 2 Oprahs. We just need one, and we need her to be the best Oprah possible, right? So we just need one John Hruby being the best John Hruby possible, and just you two and everybody. So the key is to do your part, and when you're talking about what is my part, and one of the easiest ways is, are you having fun and enjoying life? Then I know if I'm doing my part, if I'm on the right track. Okay. Now the thing is, and that's part of why I created the group, Tuesday night group, called Let's Create Tuesday, right? We get together 10 to 15 minutes, we talk about creativity and inspiration, and then 45 minutes, people write, people paint, people draw, people play guitar, we're all muted, right? And then we come back and we reconnect about our creativity. So, because it's really about giving the experience of people being creative and then building that. And we've had people that have been doing it for over a year. We've had people doing it just for the last 3 months. And we've had people that never thought they'd write their book, and now they're on like chapter 9, right? And it started at first, they would only do writing on Tuesday night. And then after so many months, then all of a sudden they started writing in the middle of the week, right? And that creativity opened up because it's like, hey, this is fun. It's not what I should do. It's actually what gives me life. And I think creativity is as important as water and food, because we can eat water and food and be alive, but then are we really alive, right? But we're being creative, then we dance, ratchet up to alive. So if you're not experiencing fun and joy, whatever you're doing, and then we may be doing a part, then we're not doing our part. And our, oh, you are the big hour. What is my part, right? And that changes and grows and develops, right? But what we may be doing is a part that has been assigned to us, right? Assigned to us by our parents, by our culture, by teachers. And if we do that part, our boss, right? We do that part, yes, we can contribute. Yes, we can make money. Yes, we can do all of that. But oftentimes we can be a little more exhausted, not so much full of life and energy. And it was like, I'm doing my part. Well, yes, you are doing your part, but you're doing a part that's been assigned to you. It's not really your part, okay? So there's an opportunity, and there's really one group to watch out for that does this really, really well. And so I want to give you a heads up. And that group is, you have to really watch out for white males. They've been doing this for a long time, right? Telling everybody what their part is and what they need to do. And we're slowly coming out of that, right? So the opportunity is to connect with the heart and come from that place. And the beautiful part about that is there's just so much more of loving and possibility available. And some people think I have that loving and possibility and then I create. And there's actually another step that this latest story that I'm writing is actually when I create, the last time I wrote the story, 2 weeks ago, I wrote this part, I go back and forth. I actually experienced greater clarity and aha moments while I was doing it. Like, I mean, other time with Space Spiders on Prom Day, I made myself laugh, I made myself cry, things got clear. It was beautiful, it was wonderful. But this latest story I'm doing, like literally being creative broke through another level of enlightenment and awareness, right? So there is an opportunity for all of us to enjoy creativity, be more creativity, and then we can actually connect. We can use creativity as much as in the same way as we use meditation to connect with that bigger part. It's an active way to connect with the bigger part of ourselves. So I want to say thank you all for inviting me to Not Church. And I invite you all to be creative and take those little steps. If you want to check out Let's Create Tuesday, just Google Let's Create Tuesday and it'll pop up. And I think it's fantastic that you get together and connect in this way. And invite me back in 5 years and we'll see what's the next level of creativity and loving, and all the best. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Nadine.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you, John. That was beautiful. Yella, Anna, it's so nice to have you back. Gosh, I'm almost at a loss here, but the messages today all connected so beautifully. To be courageous, to dance, go out and dance like nobody's watching in the metaphoric sense, go out, be yourself, take every good opportunity to connect with your essence, connect with your core, connect with your heart, and let that be your guide in being the unique you that you are. You have to value yourself, and then you have to go out and share it. And you share it in your creativity, and do not let your friggin' dog drag you around. So you just have to go out there and be you and have fun doing what you do. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that inspiration. And I'm just feeling all energized and great. Does anyone have any questions for John or for Yella? Yella, I just want to say, if you would please send me those poems so I can post them with all of the information. Those were just fantastic. I just loved those. So anyone, you can all unmute.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate that.
That was really inspiring. Thank you.
I loved Space Spiders on prom day. I laughed almost every page. I laughed out loud. And the thing I took away from it, actually I have it on Kindle, so I can't hold it up. But the thing that I took away that I use every day, several times a day, is what's a better feeling thought. That really is so powerful. What's a better feeling thought?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for saying that. That is inspired by Abraham Hicks. So if you're, but I appreciate you saying that, because actually I have another friend who's been meditating and in the spiritual game for like over 30 years. And he read Space Spiders on prom day. And he said, there are certain things said and the way it was said that he's actually been thinking about it for a while. And so that's really that's my intention. I'm so glad that touched you and continues to make a difference.
And you know, it's so uplifting to laugh and to learn at the same time. You know, that was what I enjoyed so much. It made the lessons actually not feel like lessons. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for today. Thank you, Nadine and Yella. I agree. Great poems. Thank you, everybody.
I want to just mention one thing before, if anyone has any other questions. And I just want to mention the fact that I participated this past week in the leadership training. And I just want to thank Yella and Tom and Anna and Freeman for just a really spectacular professional presentation and program. We're still thinking about it. There's great follow-up. And I have to tell you, and you don't have to be a particular leader in the community, because while there's a lot of beneficial information about getting into the flow and dealing with a group of people that you're working with, there's also, for me personally, really, it touched more personal places. And I have to tell you that I kind of went kicking and screaming. Anna will tell you that, you know, I'm not a big group activity person, which may surprise you since that's about all I do. But yeah, so I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself, and it's just personally really beneficial. So if we can get these wonderful people to do this again, I highly recommend that you participate, whatever level of activity, however you're involved in the community or in your personal life. It's just really great stuff. So I just wanted to say that and get that in before I opened it back up. So anybody have any questions? And John, again, thank you. Yella, thank you. Anna, I mean, really outstanding today. So anybody have any questions for John or for Yella or for Anna or anybody, anything?
Nope.
Nope.
Great day. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome,
well,
Sunny,
okay. And thank you, everyone. I will end this meeting. We'll look forward to seeing you in December. And everyone go out, have fun, be yourself, and enjoy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We got two hands up, or are they
Oh, I
just?
do? Who's got hands up?
Okay,
Arthur
and enjoy the great beach.
Oh, all right. Enjoy the beach, Arthur.
That's excellent.
Hi, Doris. How's
Yep.
how's
Beautiful,
Portland
beautiful day out here.
Yella Werder?
Terry, you got something?
Lovely, oh,
Okay,
beautiful.
just
Louis, say hi to the Zoomers. Hey, Louis.
Okay. Hi, Louie.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Okay,
kids.
beautiful day out here. Fantastic day.
Enjoy.
And we
We'll
had a
see
great
you
time
soon.
zooming with Martin Sheen yesterday. It was fabulous. So
Great.
talk to everybody later.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye. Enjoy.
Bye, John. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Mary.